All right, I think that's enough time. Anybody that will be joining us can join in as quickly as they are able to. So for those of you that are with us this evening already, thank you much for being here. My name is Brett McAllister. I'm the director for graduate admissions for the Halmos College of Arts and Sciences. And tonight is our virtual open house for the Biological Sciences Department. We have a variety of faculty members with us, as well as other alumni, as well as my team. So my name is Brett McAllister. I'm the director for graduate admissions, I mentioned. With me is Theodore Uy, who's one of my assistant directors as well. I'm sure some of you have spoken to him as well. So as I mentioned before, we are working with the Department of Biological Sciences. But before we get started with that, I'd like to do a brief introduction of the dean of the college. So this is the dean of the college, Dr. Holly Baumgartner. She likes to welcome to NSU's Halmos College of Arts and Sciences and the Guy Harvey Oceanographic Research Center. The college is NSU's intellectual and cultural foundation, firmly anchoring the university in the liberal arts and sciences necessary for the 21st century workforce on into graduate school. We engage you in cutting-edge selection of majors and minors built on innovative models and relevant technologies. She is very active in the college, is always running around doing a variety of things for the university and is very helpful. She's sorry she cannot be with us this evening, but she's with us in spirit as always. So starting off this evening, I'd like to also mention that we do have a variety of different degrees here at the Halmos College of Arts and Sciences. We have everything from Computer Rhetoric and Digital Media, Master of Sciences in National Security, Biological Sciences that we'll be talking more in detail about this evening, as well as Marine Sciences, Medicinal Chemistry, and Conflict Analysis. We do have an MPSE in Environmental Sciences, as well as 2 doctoral degrees in Conflict Analysis and Oceanography and Marine Biology, as well as a couple different graduate certificates in Advanced Conflict Resolution Practice, Peace Studies, Qualitative Research as well. Now, introducing the department chair is Dr. Emily Schmidt-Levin. Dr. Schmidt earned her PhD in biology at the University of Miami and worked as a postdoctoral researcher for the Nature Conservancy. Her areas of research include protein modeling, innovations in science education, genetics and geology, fish identification and survey techniques, and coral reef ecology conservation. Emily is recognized for extensive mentorship and support, which connects students with the national and international research communities and with their advanced research skills necessary for success in the graduate and professional schools. She also partners with the schools in Broward County, Florida, to connect NSU community with local schools to bring hands-on science and education, learning opportunities to school-age children. So, Doctor, thank you very much for being with us this evening. I will let you introduce the other staff members that you do have with us, the other faculty members that are with us. So with that, Dr. Levin, thank you so much once again, and the floor is yours.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to our open house about our graduate program in biological sciences. We've got some faculty here with us. We've got Dr. Deanne Rupnering there on the screen. We've got Dr. Matt Johnston up there on the screen. And we are very happy to have 2 alumni also. Sergine, I see her lights on there in the screen. She's from our health studies concentration. And we've got, I can't see all the other people's faces here right at this moment, but we have some other alumni, I think, coming here down the line as well. So here you see the slide for Dr. Rupnering, and I'll introduce her. You can read the slide. She's a faculty in our department. She's the program director in the Department of Biological Sciences. And between the faculty here in the department, we really put together this Master's of Biological Sciences degree program, and it is a joy that we're happy to share with you. Dr. Rupnering earned her Doctor of Pediatric Medicine at Barry University, and she completed her medical residency at Golden Glades Regional Medical Center in Florida. So as I say, when I want to have someone become my physician, I want them to get a huge pep talk from Dr. Rupnering, and that's what she does in our program. She teaches anatomy and physiology, histology, advanced human physiology, and has been doing research on the effects of various toxins in shellfish. So she's been looking at the histology of oysters in response to the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. And I can go ahead and you want to say hi, Dr. Rupnering?
Hi, everybody. I'll be speaking to you later on.
And our next faculty member is Dr. Matthew Johnston. You see him up in his little block up there. He is faculty in our college as well, and in our department. He is also an NSU alumni, so he has the inside experience of going to school here. He has both his master's and PhD in marine biology from NSU. He also was a software developer for many years in private industry. So he'll be talking to you specifically about our bioinformatics concentration, and he can speak to you also about the research concentration. He's serving as a data manager for a deepened consortia, which studies deep sea organisms and ecological issues. You can read about that on his website. He also teaches some of our undergraduate courses and many of the graduate courses within the bioinformatics concentration. So he'll be talking to you a little bit later. So hi, Dr. Johnston.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the intro, Emily.
Mm-hmm. Now, our faculty have a lot of different areas of expertise, and you can, of course, read more about us on our website. We have experts in health studies, biology, microbiology, immunology, ecology, anatomy and physiology. We have all kinds of faculty here to help you grow in your next part of your education and into your professional school or career, actually. Now we're getting into a little bit here about the concentration. So we have 3 concentrations in our degree. We've got the health studies concentration, the research concentration, and the bioinformatics concentration. Dr. Rupnering here will walk you through the health studies concentration.
Hi, everybody. So our health studies concentration is actually a 1-year program, and it's a lockstep program. We start in the summer, and we have fall and winter semesters. It is only a summer start date. We also offer in the summer an actual free of cost to the students, a Kaplan course that will help you with your standardized exams, whether that be MCAT, DAT, PCAT, or what have you. For that reason, our summer session is actually only includes 2 courses, a graduate seminar class and a physical diagnostic skills, or for the dental students, an introduction to the dental professions, in the hope that with that summer semester, you're actually studying for your standardized exams if you haven't done so already. The fall semester really begins the really rigorous courses that you'll see. You can see there on the screen that we have things like pathophysiology, advanced anatomy, and that has a lab along with it. And in the winter semester, we have courses like immunobiology, epidemiology, etc. At the end of your year, you do have to take a comprehensive exam, and this is actually going to mimic the exams that you have to take when you're in professional school, what we call the STEP exams. And you will have 2 opportunities to take that exam. Now, what we're attempting to do is help you to get an idea of what professional school is like. So these courses are rigorous. They are just a little bit below the level of what you will see in professional school. Once again, the hope is that you will do your standardized exams and have those grades there and scores so you can send them in order to get into your professional school of choice the following year. And there you can see a little bit of what I was saying before. You also are given a faculty mentor as soon as you register for classes. That faculty mentor is somebody that you can go to for the entire year with any issues with your classes, with your standardized exams, with applications, what schools you should be applying to, personal statements, etc. And of course, in our usual biological sciences, usual classes, we have small class sizes. And this is very good because you get to learn and meet with your professors one-on-one. And our Sir Jean will be able to actually speak to that a little bit more as well. And now the really good part about all of this are the guaranteed interviews that we have. So meeting specific requirements for each professional school, we have guaranteed interviews for students at NSU's College of Osteopathic Medicine, the College of Dentistry, Pharmacy, Optometry, and also into the Physician Assistant Program and Anesthesiology Assistant Program. In addition to the guaranteed interviews at NSU, we also have guaranteed interview agreements with Kansas City University College of Osteopathic Medicine and Kansas City College of Dental Medicine. So as long as you meet the specific requirements for each one of these professional programs, you are guaranteed an interview the year that you are in our program. The exception to that is NSU's College of Dental Medicine that will extend your guaranteed interview to 1 year after you have graduated from the master's program. And I think I'll hand it over to Dr. Johnson or Dr. Schmidt.
Probably me. Thanks, Dr. Noreen. So my name is Matt Johnston. I am in the Department of Biology again. I handle the management of the research concentration and also the bioinformatics concentration. So we're going to talk about the research concentration first. The research concentration is not quite as structured as the health studies in that you don't take prescribed courses in prescribed semesters. It's a little bit more flexible. So you're kind of responsible for designing your own program. We do share some of the required courses with the health studies concentration, so epidemiology, genomics, things like that, seminar as well. But then you're free to choose the electives that you would like to take from the Department of Biological Sciences or the Department of Marine Sciences. There are 2 tracks that both you get a Master's of Science in Biological Sciences at the end, but they have a little bit different goals. So we have the thesis track, which is more research oriented, and then we have the capstone track, which is more, I should say that the thesis track is more oriented on original research, and the capstone track is more oriented on reviewing research that was already done. In the thesis track, you take fewer actual courses. In the capstone track, you take more coursework and fewer research credits. But again, at the end, they're an equivalent degree, just 2 ways of getting there. So it is a 30 credit program, typically done over 24 months. Some take a little bit longer than that, but it usually takes about 24 months to get through the program. So let's go to the next slide. So we have a wide variety of research interests. When in either the thesis or the capstone track, you will have a faculty mentor, and you'll also form a committee. In both tracks, you produce your original paper based on your original research or a summary of research that has already been done. You'll form a committee, and then you'll defend your project at the end of the semester when you graduate. This is a public defense, so you stand up in front of your peers and whoever else wants to join, and you make your case, and people ask you questions and do that. So in the thesis track, there's a bullet point here, 40% of the credits are devoted to research. So that's a pretty high number when you compare to other programs. So if you choose the thesis track, you won't be necessarily sitting in a classroom most of the time. You'll actually be sitting in a lab doing or writing your paper. So that is a distinction between us and some of the other programs. In the thesis track, you're also provided research funds. So you're provided a set amount of funds per term that you can use to purchase equipment or anything else that is needed for your research. We also provide travel funds for both the capstone thesis. So if you want to actually go and present your work at a conference, we have a means to refund some of the money that it costs you to do that. Just like in the health studies, we have pretty small class sizes, usually under 10 students. And we have a wide variety of faculty researcher interests listed here on the right-hand side. So you can kind of tailor the program to whatever your interest is, whether it be on the marine side or the ecology side or the genomics side or the microbiology side. You get to choose the path that you take and study through the research concentration. So I think the next slide shows our the number of credit hours, the percentage of credit hours for our program compared to other programs. So you'll see we devote quite a bit of time to allowing you to doing research versus actually sitting, in a classroom taking coursework. Not that that's a bad thing. Some students like to take more coursework, and for those students, we would direct you towards the capstone path, which is a little bit more coursework oriented and less research oriented. Okay, so the second concentration that I'll talk about is the bioinformatics concentration. This is brand new this year, and we developed this because there is an increased prevalence of genomics research and big data analytics that is happening in the world of science. As Emily mentioned, I came from the programming world, so I was used to doing a lot of data crunching type of work. And so we developed this program to try to prepare our students for the big data world that's coming about. Excuse me, I had a 2-hour lecture earlier today, so my voice is kind of going a little bit. So similar to the health studies track, the bioinformatics track is a lockstep program. So it is 16 months long, fall semester, winter semester, and then another fall semester. You take a prescribed coursework during each semester, and the track is completely online. So all of the coursework is done online. Through a variety of formats. We do have some options for hybrid. So there are a couple of classes that are taught actually on campus, but they are provided in an online format. The courses that I teach are a live lecture format. So I actually give live lectures online, and then you'll have some courses that are fully online without live lectures. So a variety of formats there. Again, it's 30 credits, just like the other concentrations. Move to the next slide. I think there's a few more bullet points on this. So the whole point of the concentration, again, is to, it's primarily focused on genomics work. However, I always say data is data. And if you learn to work with large genomic data sets, you're going to be able to learn to work with large other biological data sets. One of the first courses you'll be taking is a biological data science course, and that teaches you kind of the fundamentals of programming and working with data. And that's applicable, again, across disciplines when you're working with large data sets. So yeah, the program is, the format is fully online. Like I mentioned, future opportunities, there's like wide-ranging opportunities for people who understand how to program and how to handle these large data sets. Just a few of them, we focus primarily on the genomics and genetics side. But again, getting this degree allows you to go into any kind of work where you're manipulating large amounts of data. So we're very excited about the program, and we hope some of you are interested in that track. Okay, so I think the next section is some of the alumni spotlights. I know have one alumni here, and it looks like Paisley has also joined. So Emily, do you want to introduce them?
Well, I would be happy to say welcome to Sergine, and I'll let Deanne speak about her because she was her mentor through the health studies program.
So everyone, here's Sergine wave. And Sergine will be answering any of your questions later on, and we'll be speaking to you. Sergine actually graduated from our program in 2022. She was one of these really great dynamic students who did everything she was supposed to, did everything in the time she was supposed to, and she's actually now at NSU's physician assistant program. And, you know, later on, I'll let her, you know, speak about her experiences.
Yeah, and I can speak a little bit about Paisley. So Paisley, I was actually on Paisley's committee. She did some work looking at algal blooms in Lake Okeechobee. So very interesting project. And she actually completed her master's degree in this fall or winter of this last year. And has decided to stay around and pursue another master's degree in bioinformatics. So she liked it so much, she decided to stay around. So she'll be able to speak on her experience a little bit later on as well.
All right, I can take over from here. Thank you very much, Dr. Johnston. So we're going to go ahead and look into our application requirements and the general walkthrough on what the application is going to look like once you go ahead and create an account with us. So we're going to start first here with health studies. As Dr. Roopnarine said a little bit earlier, this is a summer start term only. For those of you that are looking to apply to this program, the upcoming summer 2024 deadline is going to be May 15th. If you have any questions regarding anything regarding the application, your point of contact is going to be Megan Troy, who is not here today, but you're also more than willing, or I should say more than happy to go ahead and talk with us here in our general admissions office. My supervisor, Brett, as well as myself, happy to talk with you. So for the actual application materials here, we are looking at a general NSU application, and we're going to break down what that looks like in just a little bit, along with a $50 application fee. However, for everyone that is attended here tonight, you will go ahead and get an application fee waiver code that you can use to apply later on. Now, we are going to need official transcript from all previously attended institutions, and I do mean all of them. So if you only took one course at Miami-Dade College, you still need to send that transcript over to us. Even if it's accounted for in another transcript, we need to have that separately accounted for so that we can go ahead and verify and authenticate the course credit that you have received. Now, we do also require 2 letters of recommendation. These need to be coming from academic sources, such as a past professor, maybe an academic advisor, a program chair of some sort, someone who has a little bit more personal relationship with you and can talk about your different experiences as a student. You're also going to get a personal statement within the general application that's going to be your own personal touch on this. You're going to be able to explain your interest in the program, what you're trying to get out of it, professional goals, where you kind of want to end up. And we only require 2.85 cumulative GPA, although I will say our ideal candidate does sit at a 3.0 or higher. Nope. Doesn't want to work for me. Now, looking at MSBS research, we are rolling admissions. So we accept we accept students for 3 different terms of the year, being summer, fall, and winter. Again, for the upcoming summer term, if that's when you were looking for the research program, that's going to be April 15th, a little bit different timeline. But then for, say, winter 24, which is the actual next coming term, that's November 15th. If you are interested in applying for the winter time, please get in contact with us as soon as possible so we can break down what you need to do with your materials. Now, I know for a lot of you, you're going to be graduating this coming springtime, so you're going to be looking to apply for the fall. If you are interested in that time frame, that's going to be a deadline of July 19th. Every single one of these dates, every single one of these dates that you see up here on the screen is all going to be on a Friday, so that'll be the last business day of the week to get in all of your materials for that application. Now, for the specifics of the application materials here, it's going to look just like what we saw for health studies. You're going to submit, again, that general application along with a $50 fee, all official transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation. We do ideally like to see with the letters of recommendation a little bit more of correlation to your program of interest. So if you are interested in health studies, you may want to look more specific for recommenders within that field, and same as you go into research. And then for cumulative GPA requirements, it's still going to be sitting at a 2.85. But again, just as reiteration, ideally we'd like to see a 3.0. And then for bioinformatics, so bioinformatics is a fall start term only. So that's going to be that same date of July 19th, again, being a Friday. You're going to submit, again, that general application, $50 fee in the transcripts, along with 2 letters of recommendation and a personal statement as well. So we'll go ahead and tell you or show you what that actually is going to look like over here. Once you go ahead and create an application here, we are going to see this overview once you log in. This is the account overview where if you specified interest in any of our programs underneath the university, it's going to populate underneath here. It'll show all of your contact information. So that's going to be your general phone numbers, emails, anything like that. Do verify that information because we do recommend that you use non-school related emails for the application process. And that's just because you may be graduating sooner or later, or you may lose access to that school email at some point later on. So we want to make sure that you have access to all the important information necessary as you go through this application process. There's going to be areas of interest like I listed, and we usually try and put on a couple of events all throughout the year. So you can also see that occasionally within your account's overview. Now, once you go ahead and start an application, you're going to click underneath the My Applications portion, which is going to be at the top of the screen here. I know it's a little hard to see, but the first section up is going to be our biographic information. So this is what we were just kind of already discussing, being your name, date of birth, address, any sort of NSU affiliation, contact info, and so forth. Again, you just want to make sure that this is all up to date in case we do need to contact you about your application later on. Then we're going to have our program information. So it is a little bit tricky when you're looking at this because depending on some of the questions, you may get some different issues. So we want to make sure that you better understand when we're applying. So for those looking at the health studies concentration, you can only apply for summer. At the moment, with the way our system works, some of the other term populates within that entry term, but you can only choose summer. If later on you found out that you chose the incorrect entry term, do let us know here at admissions and we can have that rectified. Then it's going to have your specific concentration. So again, reiterating, that would be either health studies, bioinformatics, or our thesis capstone track. And I know it's a little confusing when it's asking for your campus of study. All of these programs, excluding bioinformatics, which can take place online, happen on the main campus, but for the purpose of the application, it's going to only allow you to pick our Oceanographic Center. And if for any reason during the application process, you need to hold off on submitting the application, or perhaps your first entry term doesn't work for your ideal timeline at the moment, you are able to defer your application up to 1 year past your original anticipated entry term. So in cases like, say, for the health studies concentration, if you were interested in applying for this coming summer 2024, and then found out that that wasn't going to be a good time to start the program, you would have to defer your application all the way to the next summer of summer 2025. Now, the prior college information. So this has a couple of different things you want to keep in mind when we're looking into this. Most of the time, you can actually just type in your specific college and it should populate, which will then show as an item on your application. You're going to be sending your transcripts over, and it has to be sent by your institution. We can't accept them directly from you as the students for verification and authentication processes. We are able to accept them via email or mail. Most institutions are able to send it electronically, so you could have them send that to electronictranscript@nova.edu. Typically speaking, it's going to be about 3 to 5 business days for processing time, and then to show as received on your application. If at any point during that process you receive notification either from our university or from your own institution that the transcripts have been received, feel free to follow up with us here in admissions. We don't receive every single one of those notifications, but we do try our best to stay on top of when we see transcripts come in. Now, for any of you that may have gone to an institution outside the U.S., there's going to be a couple more steps you're going to have to take towards your application. So you're going to have to get your institutional transcripts evaluated for U.S. equivalency. And we do that through an organization called the National Association of Credential Evaluation Services, or NACES for short. You're going to need a couple of things as part of the evaluation report. All the companies that are members of NACES have a little bit of a different services that they provide, but overall, you're going to be looking for what's called a comprehensive evaluation. This is going to include a course-by-course analysis of your grades from your institution along with U.S. grade equivalent. It should state your cumulative GPA, and it also needs to state if and when a degree was conferred. Once all of that's done, you're going to have that chosen organization send us the evaluation report straight either through email, or it can also be sent in mail, similarly to our prior other U.S. transcripts. But keep in mind, once again, that we cannot accept that evaluation report directly from you, the student. It has to be sent by your chosen organization. Then we're going to look into our supplemental items. So please take a look at what you see on screen in the picture here, because this is what it's going to generally look like once you go ahead and submit the application. There is a separate portion that's going to be your admissions documents, or also called your supplemental items, where you're going to be able to track some of the other items that are part of your larger application, like your letters of recommendation or your official transcripts. If it's not showing as received within the supplemental items tab here, feel free to contact us. It may just be a simple fix and we had received it, but it didn't populate in the system, so we just have to mark it as received. For letters of recommendation, they work a little bit differently. So if you look in the bottom section of the screen here, you're going to see a section called recommendation requests. Once you submit the general application, you're going to then have this populate with fields where you'll go ahead and put the emails of your intended recommenders. They're going to be sent a form to fill out for NSU with a little bit more detail on instructions and how they can then upload a formal letter for your application itself. Ideally, we'd like to see these recommendations either be Word documents or PDFs for file types. Any other file type, unfortunately, does not work well with our application system and may end up with the form being completed and sent back, but we may not receive the actual letter itself. If you have any confusion regarding that, feel free to let us know. In some cases, we do know that because it's an automated system, it may not always be readily accepted by the intended recommenders' email protocols. So we always recommend first they check their junk folders. Sometimes it gets misidentified as spam. Otherwise, you can always reach out or have your recommender send their letter and reach out to us directly, and then we'll have it uploaded to the student's application. Now, you've gotten familiar with a couple of our faces here, but going from the left-hand side as formal just introductions go, we have Brett McAllister, who is our Director for Graduate Admissions with the Halmos College. All of you will be primarily working with Megan Troy, who is one of our Assistant Directors, as well as myself. And then if you ever try to call us in or send us an email on our general line, you're usually going to get a response back from our administrative coordinator on the right there, and that's Andrew Gepner. Any of the contact information you see below you here is an avid way to get a hold of us. We are able to speak over email, phone call, we do video conferences, and we can even do texting. So maybe if you're not as apt to try and talk with someone over video conference, we're more than happy to just give you like, hey, a quick update, like, hey, we got a letter of recommendation, we didn't see a letter attached to it. Can you go ahead and just follow up with your recommender to be sure? So make it nice and easy for yourselves. So then we're going to get into cost of attendance out here. Now, it's going to look a little bit different when you look online, as we do this on a per year basis. We are trying to get that changed if possible, but we like to show it on a per credit hour basis because typically students are going to be taking 6 credits per term. So this shows a little bit better of an idea of what you can expect on cost of attendance on a per term basis. So tuition is going to be set at $1,473, and the fees that you're going to accrue over one academic year is about $1,800, but it is split between 3 different terms. So that's a $600 semesterly student services fee. That's essentially going to encompass all the different resources you're going to make use of as a student here at NSU, whether it be online resources, working in the labs, or anything in between. If you want the detailed breakdown of what that student service fee covers, I'd be more than happy to send that to you. If you're going to be less than full-time status, which means you're taking less than 6 credits per semester, that student services fee does drop down to $300. But keep in mind, if you are at part-time status for a student, that may mean that you're not going to be eligible for certain financial aid opportunities. Speaking of which, we would love for you to check out some of our different scholarship opportunities as well as our paid positions. One thing you do need to keep in mind as you look into our programs that you must first be admitted to any of the concentrations that we discussed already here today before you can formally apply to any of our scholarships. We do offer graduate teaching assistantships with the Department of Biological Sciences as well as research opportunities, as Dr. Johnston was saying. For our teaching assistantships, that can have a scholarship ranging up to $5,000 a semester along with an hourly wage. You would get to work with some of our undergraduate course labs assisting with their work, and I believe Dr. Schmidt here can talk all day about that if you are interested in looking into that. And then we also offer a variety of scholarships that are specific to some of our departments as well as to the college themselves. So if you have any questions regarding that, they all should have a point of contact listed underneath the scholarship that you can go ahead and contact with any questions. And of course, we'd all love for you to follow us on social media. We are on most platforms, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We do even have a YouTube channel. So we are recording all of this right now. So we're going to put this up on our YouTube channel if you want to go and reference it or watch it again later on. All right. And I'll hand it back to the department.
All right, thank you so much, Teddy. And I wanted to also introduce Miss Gwen Hauer, who's appears to be scuba diving, but not very, your hair looks great up there. She's alumni of our program, and she's your academic coordinator in this program, meaning that after a person applies and is accepted, then she is the face to help students through from that process forward. Here's a picture of our graduates one day right after the end of their last exam for the health studies students. We had a little party and took our picture. We're quite excited. So now we're going to take you through just a quick view of some of the alumni of our program, and we want to leave plenty of time for Sergine and Paisley to be able to answer any questions you have from a student and alumni perspective. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see we have, I believe, different alumni spotlights, and these are also viewable on our website for the program. And we just wanted you to see some of the different alumni and where they went off to. So Sydney over here, she's working on her PhD, so you could maybe guess she was a research concentration student. Ivana and Rebecca, they're both research concentration alumni. Ivana went to her PhD at Duke, and Rebecca is working in industry at Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. And these are just a few. We really love staying in touch with our students, and you can see that on our website. So you can go to the next one. And here we get into students who are recent alumni from the health studies concentration. So, you know, if anybody, any of the other faculty want to jump in, please be my guest. But we are so proud of our students, and we know that once our students are accepted into our program, we work very hard, and you work a little harder to get to where you really want to go. And sometimes where you want to go could change. One of our health studies students decided that she was really a PhD researcher, and that's a neat outcome to me, because they didn't expect that probably at the beginning.
So these are just a few of our alumni. I mean, we have lots others, but you know, these are just a few of the photos we wanted to show the students. As you can see on this one, these are actually 3 of the 4 students here actually graduated this year, and they're already in their professional programs. 2 are in dental, one of them being at NSU Dental, the other at Meharry, and Anissa is at DeBuss College of Osteopathic. Tahea actually graduated last year, and she is in dental medicine in Illinois. And once again, these are actually all from last year. And we have, it's a actual combination. We have 2 of them in dental. One of them, once again, is at our NSU Dental. One is NSU Medical, and Ashley is actually in her PA studies. And also from last year, Casey's in a PA program, and Andrew is at Lecom Dental. And I really encourage you to go to our website and see, you know, definitely more of the alumni. You'll also see Sergine's photo there.
So there were some questions kind of going along. I know I answered one already in the chat, but this is being recorded. So we will be sending this out to everyone who attended this evening, as well as those looking to view this later, and any of our prospects as well. So I want to make sure I answered that as well. Dr. Levin, I think you probably want to answer this one for me if you don't mind. Just kindly mention, you know, when the class starting dates are, just from the academic calendar standpoint.
Right, so we have 3 different concentrations, and they have 3 different start times. So, well, maybe not 3, but the health studies concentration, we start approximately the end of June. So, because you have 2 courses in the summer. Now, you could also start the research concentration then if you wanted, or you could have a rolling admissions with the research concentration. So the research concentration could start in the summer with graduate seminar, and that's the end of June, or it could start with the August start date for the fall. So that's typically the 3rd week of August for the fall, or for the winter term, which starts in January. So you have to look particularly every year for what exactly that start date is. That's approximate. And now So the health studies, you don't have much choice. You're going to start on June like 28th in the summer. And then with the bioinformatics concentration, you don't have much choice either. You're going to start when the fall semester starts, which is pretty much August, like August 20th, something around there, like the third week of August.
Yeah, the dates change each year for the actual starting week of courses. It's around the same time, but that information can be found on our website as well. On the General Nova website, they post the graduate, undergraduate calendars, and it shows the exact starting week of each term. So that's a good resource to look.
So someone might ask, can I go from the research concentration to the bioinformatics concentration? Well, you can do that, but you should do it relatively quickly after the first term. So if you wanted to start in the research concentration, you might be able to switch, but you have to be very, very careful about switching concentrations because you might have to take longer to finish.
Yeah,
I
and you
think the
might,
second, I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say you might end up taking more courses than you need to if you wait too long as well. So try to get it ironed out within the first semester, which one you want to post to.
We have academic advising appointments there with Ms. Hauer, and she's very helpful with guiding students through.
I think the second part of that question, Brett, was how soon do you find out after you make the application, whether you've been
Yes.
accepted or not? For health studies, we let you know within a month after we get the completed application.
And please do keep in mind the completed application is not just the actual application submission, it's all the supplemental documents that my assistant director Teddy mentioned during that process. So once those have all come in, my admissions team submitted to the Biological Sciences Selection Committee, and that's when, as Dr. Ruperine just mentioned, takes about that month around time frame.
Yeah, it's about the same for the bioinformatics and research as well. We try and turn it around fairly quickly. The only exception may be during the summertime. There are, people may be, the non-researchers that just teach may not be actually working during the summer, so it may take a little longer, but definitely not longer than a month.
And I do know we have some of our alumni with us, as has been mentioned multiple times already. Now, I do have some questions for them if any of our members watching do not. So if they wouldn't mind turning on their cameras and letting me kind of throw some questions out at them. I always am interested to hear from, current students of ours, and I said, and alumni as well, why did you end up picking NSU? What was it about the college that really drew you in to want you to be one of our students? I think it gives a really unique perspective for interested prospects.
I can answer. So I wanted to go to Nova because it was really close to home. It's in an area that I'm familiar with. I was born and raised in Hollywood, and I've known about the campus for a while. And I also felt like the description of I did the MBS biological sciences program with a focus on health studies. And I felt like when I read about what the program had to offer, it really catered to what I was looking for in the master's program, something that would help me challenge myself and really show that I'm capable of getting the A's and B's and doing well in like a rigorous course. And so when I saw what they had to offer, I actually even attended one of these open houses, and I thought this would be an ideal place for me to go to. Beforehand, I tried doing like individual classes to like try to boost my academic standing and experience, but it wasn't really going at a rate that I needed it or like as effective as I would like for it to be. So doing this program was really ideal.
So my past with Nova pretty much goes way back. I've been here since undergrad. So my original decision to come into bioinformatics was, of course, as they said, I graduated with my master's in marine science, and my thesis dealt with pretty much all bioinformatics because I dealt with DNA sequencing and having to play with that data and obviously get the data for my thesis. And I personally just love researching and I realized I really like bioinformatics because I originally was like, okay, maybe I can do like mapping, like GIS type stuff. But then after after I graduated my master's, I was just like, oh wait, I actually really like playing with this type of data, and it's a lot of data. That's why it's called big data. So yeah, that's pretty much why I entered the bioinformatics and continued my studies here at Nova.
So thank you both you very much, obviously, for being here this evening and answering my question. Are there any other questions from any of our audience members? I know a lot of our faculty and I'm sure our alumni are very busy, and I do not want to hold them up as long as I can.
Brett, can I just ask the students to let everybody know, do they feel that they were well prepared for the programs after they completed their masters?
I can start off. I will say definitely, being that I was here at NSU, I obviously can't speak for anyone who hasn't been through the NSU graduate program, but being here in NSU and having done my master's, I was well prepared to go into the bioinformatics field because, again, I went into a genomics lab during my master's, and having dealt with all the trainings and everything like that we had to learn in the lab, and all the tools and bioinformatic tools that I didn't even know about, pretty much just had me just gracefully step into the program with no issues.
So I really feel like doing the health studies track with the Master's in Biological Sciences program really set me up to succeed. So I'm at the physician assistant program here on the Fort Lauderdale campus, and a lot of the coursework kind of goes in step with what we learned in the health studies program. So now that I'm taking these classes again, a lot of the material is able to stick a little bit quicker, and I'm able to pick up quicker. The pacing of the program is really fast. And so to add on to that, I'd already been out of school for a long time before I did the master's program. So I wouldn't have been prepared to keep up if I had not done this master's program beforehand. It really helped me ground my studying skills, figure out what my priorities should be when I'm trying to schedule my time, and figure out like how to navigate like networking and friendships and things like that. So now that I'm in the PA program, I was really successful with my first semester. I'm in my second semester now, and I'm hanging on, it's a lot, but I'm able to manage a lot of the material. And I'm also even reflecting back on some of the things that I learned through the master's program. And it makes me like, you get a little bit excited because you're like, oh, I've heard this before, I've seen this before. Or I remember there's at some points, there's also times when we went a little bit more in depth with like research and stuff. So it's interesting to see the two come together. So I really do appreciate the master's program that I did. I really feel like it set me up so I could succeed with this PA program.
Awesome. Thank you both very much for answering the questions. I know the faculty questions are always fantastic. I know Dr. Marine always has good ones. I'm happy they're with us as well this evening. But it doesn't look like any of our participants do have any other questions. So I want to make sure that I'm cognizant of all yours time as well as those that are watching with us. So for those of you that are with us this evening, thank you very much for being here. From the faculty members and my staff, we really do appreciate you taking the time. And for those of you that are watching later on our recorded video itself, please reach out to any member of my staff about any questions you may have about the application process, the program itself. And if we can't answer you, we'll certainly connect you with, to the best of our ability, to some of our faculty members. I know they always are willing to speak to students about the process and learning more about the details, the really nitty-gritty details that they know it so well, and they do such a great job of communicating that to our students. So thank you. Oh, well, it looks like I actually do have one more question. Okay, sorry, I just caught that. So if someone wants to apply in more than one concentration program, for example, the health studies or the research concentration, what would be the application submission process like under one application or two separate applications? So I'll answer that. So for the actual application itself, you will need to submit two separate applications. Now, as far as using that application waiver fee code, you can use it for both of them. If you run into any issues with that at all, please do let me know, and my team will take care of that for you. But you will need to submit two applications. Now, when you do load up the actual supplemental documents, make sure you are specific with what you are submitting them for. We do sometimes get letters of recommendation that are labeled for the wrong program, or your submission essay might be labeled incorrectly. So be very specific and make sure that your letters of recommendation, your supplemental documents are specifically saying for the research concentration or for the health studies concentration. It cleans it up a little bit for when we do submit it, but you will need to submit both application processes when you do that. Any other last second questions? No? Okay, well, thank you once again for being here with us this evening. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Those who are studying for finals and everything else out there, good luck with all your exams and everything. And we look forward to hearing from you and hopefully seeing you as one of our students sometime in the near future. Thank you all for being here. Hope you have a wonderful night. Take care.